Well, I see the time has arrived. At least the four fours, or I'm sorry, the three fours. Where's the fourth one? They don't make clocks that go that way. Oh, good morning. The separation experiment is a huge success. And I wrote, God's prodigal children left home, venturing into a far country, planet Earth, and spent their inheritance on riotous living. All of heaven watched in amazement as their brothers and sisters seemed to totally forget who they were, who they had always been. It seemed like a disaster as children of God experienced alienation. The pain and suffering was almost unbearable even from the higher vantage point, and it was unbearable from the lower one. Then it happened. First a few, then more and more of God's children began to awaken and remember. The tide had turned, as foreseen by the earlier prophets and seers that had come from heaven to implant the signposts in the cultures of earth. It was the end of the 20th century and the beginning of the 21st. Humankind was waking up, and God smiled. The separation experiment is a huge success. The words echoed throughout the cosmos. Of course, preceding that announcement was my period of meditation, as once again, Spirit impressed upon me the very thing that I just wrote and read. It is a success. We are awakening. Oh, I see the blustering and hear the things still being broadcast in the mainstream media. All the warnings and all the dire forecasts that they're trying to make to predict fear and to predict cataclysm and to predict all sorts of horrible things. But the fact of the matter is, this universe, including planet Earth, is driven by consciousness. That is, we are able, by our thoughts, to create the experience we choose. And our experience has always reflected where we were in that drama of forgetting, that separation experiment. Going into the far country, would we be able to remember that we were divine, even while having our human experience? There have been a lot of people through the ages that have tried to discount their humanity, saying, I am not that. I've been one of them. Sometimes I've looked at it and says, I'm not that. I'm really not. And as long as I believed I really wasn't, it got more of it. More of what I thought I wasn't. Until finally I began to see something a little different. Or a little differently. I don't care whether you make it an adjective or an adverb. I began to see what God meant when he said to Moses, I am that. I am. I am the human being that has suffered. And my suffering has been my experience. It is mine. I am that. I am. I am the bag of symptoms, the broken vessel that needs repair, the sick one that needs healing. Yes, even the psychopath that needs to have the still small voice get louder. and the flame of freedom start to burn brighter. I am that. I am. Whatever that is, whatever this is, I am. And more. And both. I am not an either-or person, and neither can anyone be that's awakening. Once you're really beginning to awaken, you begin to see, I am that and this. I am both. It's not either or. It's both and. I am both the dark and the light. I am both the masculine and the feminine, the god and the goddess, the creator and the created. I am the immanent one and the transcendent one. I am both and more because I am powerful, knowing. I am beyond time and space, and yet I am within time and space. I am the reality, I am the illusion. I am the dancer, I am the dance. I am all and in all. I am part of all that is, all that always has been and always will be. I am. I am that, and this I am too. You see, I had forgotten. I had experienced what it was like to suffer, to feel alienated, to feel not good enough, to feel inadequate, to be angry at my own inadequacy and my own ignorance and my own stupidity and my own bullheadedness and hard-heartedness. Yeah, I was angry about it. Pissed off, royally pissed off. As well I should have been, because that was the gift I was giving myself. The gift we all gave ourselves. No matter what role we played, we were more than the role. Inevitably, even if we thought the role was us. This is the hand of cards I've been dealt. And I don't like it. And I railed against it. Why did you make me like this? And then I saw that it was ultimately because I chose it. Oh, that was a real hard one for me to get at first. Why would I choose this? Why would I choose to come into this hellhole where people are insane and I'm part of the freaking insanity? Why would I choose this? And then I began to listen. Not to what God said 2,000 years ago or 1,500 years ago through the prophet, or 3,000 or 4,000 years ago through other prophets and seers, planted in every culture and every age since the beginning of time. Oh, no. Prophets are handy to look back and say, oh, this was really neat what they said. I think I'm going to try to repeat their lessons. But God doesn't have time. Doesn't have a past. God only has a present. And so I have to become the prophet and the seer. I have to become the Son of God. Here, now, in this lifetime, right now, as Ron Van Dyke. And you do too, if you choose it. Yes, the separation experiment is a huge success. Once you see it. Until you see it, it's nonsense. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make sense. It isn't real. It can't possibly be real. Or it's the only reality and we're doomed. Oh, we're doomed. Oh, my God, we're doomed. No, we're not. We're waking up. Huh. And the prophets of doom and their prophecies, of course They saw calamitous ends. Of course they saw tumultuous times ahead, because so many people were still sleeping. So many people were still unaware and disconnected from the higher reality, the higher truth. They were playing the either-or game. I'm either this or that. I'm either on the good side or the bad side. I either wear the white hat or the dark hat. I'm either this or that. And we did the duel. And some of us learned to dance instead of duel. But the truth of the matter is, we've always been all that is. And we're starting to get it. We're starting to remember. We're starting to awaken from a nightmare and realize that it was a dream that we created, a drama that we had written. We were the creators. It was our choice. We chose to ask the Father for our inheritance so that we could go into that far country and spend the inheritance every which way we chose, on wine and strong drink, on everything that our soul lusted after. And we did it. We did it. We fell. We descended from heaven as children of God. We descended into a very dark place, foreboding, calamitous place. On every hand, there was disaster. Oh, the disasters were interspersed with moments of pleasure and sometimes even ecstasy. But always we'd come back to the doom and the gloom, to the fear and the anxiety and insecurity. Always we'd come back. And then we stopped. Some of us stopped fighting. Some of us stopped saying, I'm not that. I am that. I am. We said instead, I am that. I am the Illuminati. And I am the 99% that sleeps now among the 99% that awakens till all that's there is the 100%, all and in all. And I no longer chose to be harsh. Oh, discerning, yes. Yes, but my discernment, my judgment became filled with mercy as I held in my heart the realization that I am that I'm judging. I am. It's not somebody else. It's part of me. Because all there is an interconnected web of life. When we wouldn't listen to the prophets and the seers and the mystics, we began to hear the same message from the scientists, the physicists. We began to hear it from every quarter that was in darkness. We even began to hear it from people in government and people in the corporate world. We even began to hear it from medical professionals and others that we thought could never possibly get it. But one by one, and then 10 by 10, and then 100 by hundreds, and then thousands by thousands, then tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands began to get it. We began to awaken because the separation experiment is a huge success. We're turning the tide by embracing the paradox. I am this, and I am that. I am both and more. Always more. Always more. Because I am with God, the co-creator of the universe, the co-creator of my experience. I am the dancer and the dance. I am the living and the dead. Never thought of that one before. I am the sleeper and the awakened one. I am both and more. Oh, when you start thinking both and more, the separation experiment has done its job. You remember. You call back all of your members, those you have judged and those you have loved. And there is now, therefore, no condemnation to those with a single eye that see unity amid the beauty of the diverse world. I leave you with these thoughts. Namaste. Thank you.